Okay, so Stuber, which is the new film starring Kamal Nanjiani and Dave Bautista. So the deal is that if you remember that thing with Men in Black International, which isn't very good at all, except for the fact that Kamal Nanjiani is actually quite funny in it, although he plays a character which is a CG character, but his voice he's got a very good deadpan way, and I really loved The Big Sick. But I think he has struggled since The Big Sick to find things that are kind of worthy of his comic talent. So in Stuber, he's an unassuming Uber driver who works in a kind of a home store, and his name is Stuart, and his boss has nicknamed him Stuber because he drives an Uber. And all he wants in his life is to get a 5-star rating from his passengers. Dave Bautista, meanwhile, is a law enforcer who at the beginning there's a whole thing that happens in which something terrible happens. So he's now on the trail of somebody who he can't let go. His daughter wants him to pay more attention to her, but he's absolutely obsessed with bringing down this bad guy. And then he has to get laser surgery on his eyes, and he's told, okay, you can't do anything for like 24, 48 hours afterwards because you won't be able to see straight, which is a plot device to mean that when suddenly it turns out that there's a bad thing going down with the guy, he suddenly needs to be somewhere and be back in the fray, but he can't see properly, so he calls an Uber, and the Uber turns up, and it is run by Stuber. You getting it?
Oh, yeah, we got that.
Okay.
Hey! Uber?
Yeah. My God. Hey, let me guess. You want me to drive you to all the Sarah Connors in the city?
Come on, start it up. Let's go.
Oh, it's already started. Electric car. I call it silent but deadly.
Drive.
Stu. How do you do? Can I get you some bottled water, some Canadian chocolates? It was one of those things where I thought I was getting 5 bars on Amazon, but I ended up getting
Koreatown, now.
Koreatown? No. Hold on, I'm gonna bang a Yui here real quick. Nope, don't got it. Hold on. Oh, didn't quite make it. Just a couple more points and we got it.
So directed by Michael Dowse, written by Tripper Clancy. And, I think Kamal Nanjiani gets a couple of cute laughs out of the overblown antics. I mean, it's an action comedy, so there's a whole lot of stuff about, bullets flying and heads getting broken and cars exploding. Dave Bautista plays the entire movie like a sort of short-sighted bear with a very sore head. That's his default setting for the whole thing. One of the problems with it is that it's got Ike Uwe in it, who's really sort of brilliant martial arts star, who's, it's always great to see him on screen, but the film doesn't really know what to do with him, and it never gives him space to do the thing that he does that always makes him interesting on that kind of balletic talents. There's no room for that. So it's kind of pretty... every now and then there's a laugh, and it's usually due to the fact that I do think that Kamal Nanjiani has got this really brilliantly deadpan delivery, which I find funny. But it's like you're a passenger in a car that has some entertaining, points of call, but otherwise you're on a sort of fairly long journey. I'm sorry, I'm stretching this metaphor as far as it's going to go. It's okay. There's 4 or 5 chortles in it, but it's really not up to much. And at the end, I was kind of glad that it finished.